Hello and welcome back to our Witcher Chronicle, Witcher Last Light. I am your GM for this chronicle, Gilbert Ramos, aka Ramos and Nomad on all social media. I am CEO and founder of RollingNomads. And today I have the pleasure of being here with these lovely people, and I have no reason to delay. So let's go ahead and jump into the people you're actually here to meet, our players. So let's jump over, beginning to on my screen, very far left, with Nyoka.
What's up, everyone? It's me, Edge, or Edge the Nomad, or Edge Survival. Today I will be playing your Viper Witcher, Nyoka.
Excellent, so much. Very happy to have you here. Thank you so much. And we'll jump over to my closest left, closest top left, Cersei.
Hi, I'm Luna, or Druid by Night. You can find me at Druid by Night on most social media platforms. And for this game, I will be playing Cersei Aveline, the Artusan alum sorceress.
Thank you so much. Pleasure to have you here. Always a pleasure. Going down to my bottom left, Lisha.
Hello everyone. I am Tharissa Rave. You can find me as such all over the internet, but tonight I will be playing Visha, the alchemist mage, who might become a demonologist. Who knows? We'll see.
We'll see. Thank you so much for being here. Always a pleasure. Last but certainly not least, Kura.
Hello again, everybody. I'm Warren, found everywhere at the Demons Within, doing some stuff sometimes. I don't know. But I will be playing Kura, a Witcher of the Griffin School. And I am excited to deal with some mages today.
Indeed. And we begin this episode, as we always do, with a recap. Now, I have been elected to give this recap at knife point. So, we cycle through in our continuous circle of recaps. Last we saw our heroes. They had met with the mysterious Lord Vittorio, who had offered to help sponsor their endeavors in gathering Nilfgaardian forces to help take down this dragon. They met him in a shady little hostel where people were having a drinking competition, but they came to the conclusion after having some drinks with Lord Vittorio that the agreement would be that in order for his name to be sort of on this endeavor, this mission, he would provide lodging for the soldiers that were to be gathered, providing them food, a place to sleep, all of these things, all these necessities, until which point that the hunt or assault, or whatever you'd like to call it, on the dragon's domain would be done. Lord Vittorio agreed. In exchange, he is going to essentially profit off of the success of this endeavor in order to rocket himself forward in the Nilfgaardian nobility in Gamera. Through their drinking, they discovered that Lord Vittorio is a little more than what he seems. He may have gotten his noble title through ill-gotten means. They determined he may very well be from Skellige. They've shaken hands and made a deal with this individual, and they're going to trepidatiously trust that he's a man of his word in this regard. After a night of heavy drinking from a couple of our heroes, they woke up the next morning and set out to Gamera. A relatively quick and dirty recap, because they had spent the remainder of their time going to Gamera, learning, taking time to study, taking time to train, and it is now, as we join our heroes 3 weeks later. And this is where we join our heroes, not exactly in the moment where we find them now, but let's touch on what they've gathered, what they've done for these past 3 weeks of travel. Let's begin with Visha. 3 weeks have passed. What were you doing during that time period?
So a good portion of the time was spent learning how to use telepathy with Cersei. And in exchange for gaining this ability, she taught Cersei how to read folks, how to find an easy mark. More often than not, they are men. But after, teaching her these things, anytime they stopped at a tavern or, a little town, she would be gathering ingredients to keep their stocks up, And then also, I think, generally trying to make sure she doesn't have any crazy fucking nightmares. So she's been keeping essentially a dream journal for any time she does have a nightmare or if there's been a grand shift in them. So she always has notes on that. And I think finally she keeps correspondence with Westworld, just making sure that everything is okay with our new patron, and to make sure that they are always up to date on how many soldiers they now have. You know, anything like that. So,
Indeed, yes. This is something we that I neglected to touch on the recap. It was decided during, off screen, that Westworld was going to be remaining with Lord Vittorio in order to help manage the specifics and make sure that everything is up to snuff with Lord Vittorio and the soldiers, sort of as the eyes and ears of the party while they're away. So Westworld is safe, sound, and well fed for now.
But yeah, so that is the sum total of what she's been doing in these past 3 weeks. She has been pulling away a little bit from her sister. They're still close, but I think that there is definitely a distance. There is still this pit in Visha's stomach that she might have to leave her sister behind at some point in order to keep her safe.
Understood. And with that being said, with your 3 weeks having been narrated, you have some new skills under your belt. You have some new spells. We cast our eyes over to our second mage, or maybe our original mage. I don't want to put him on a hierarchy. That'll just create a conflict. Cersei, what have you been up to these past 3 weeks?
Cersei has been spending the better part of these 3 weeks also learning her favorite activity to do when there is downtime. She finally knows what to do with the crystal skull that she's had for so long, in that she learned the Create Crystal Skull ritual. And she has, after they stopped one night, imbued the crystal skull with fifth essence and woken it.
And what is the crystal skull that you've chosen? What is the animal that this belongs
It's
to?
a fox.
And so describe what this being looks like.
Yeah, this fox is pretty. It's little. It's a littler creature, but it is unique in the fact that it has many black markings. So there's a red fox with a black tail, black arms, a black face, but red ears and a red body, and so on. And she's been treating it very much like, a 20-something treats their first cat. Just all over it, adoring over it. And finally, she's penned a letter to Margarita. One to Margarita, one to Aurelia, and has asked that this fox go through a portal that she's opened, or that she would like to open, to Thaned, Aretuza, and deliver this message for her. Its first task as her familiar.
Understood. What is the message delivered to Thaned?
It is mostly asking. It's pretty straight and to the point. It doesn't mince words. How are things up north? Because based on what I've heard, they sound pretty bad. And then instructions to please portal this fox to just outside Gweison Haul, and it'll do the rest.
Understood. Indeed, some new skills, some new spells under your belt during these 3 weeks. And all of you guys would have to now deal with this little furry creature. It is a loyal familiar. For the most part, you can tell that it is a little bit more well trained than a wild fox would be. However, it is still a fox. It still enjoys. Foxes are known to be mischievous, and they enjoy playing and having strange little laughing sounds as it plays and kind of rolls around in the cart. It is a fox for all intents and purposes, regardless of being a familiar. It is still has an animalistic nature to it. With that being notated, Nyoka, what have you been up to these past 3 weeks?
Yeah, been doing some traveling, doing some training, not for myself, but for those around me, the less fortunate. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of that. Over the course of traveling, I would have mended my armor and probably would have set about to try crafting a set of head armor, helm armor, I guess would be the correct verbiage. And outside of that, yeah, just keeping steady on my toes and yeah.
And what sort of armor are you looking for your headpiece?
See, I don't want a helmet per se. Helmets are just lame. But if I can incorporate some type of chain or segmented or what's the word? Lamar? I don't know. But like the kind of, plate segmented layered armor onto the hood of my clothes. Yeah, to provide, a little bit of protection. That would be cool.
Understood. We'll get to what you require very shortly. While we go through your options, or while I look through your options, Kura, what have you been up to these past 3 weeks?
Hi, it's me. I'm the less fortunate. Mostly being not necessarily forced, but training with Nyoka and probably watching Cersei and Visha with their observations and the training of recognizing people when I had a chance, and trying to snuggle the fox. Absolutely trying to snuggle the fox.
Understood. Have you taken any time to learn any new signs or anything that we should know about?
No.
Understood. Your time is spent a little less extravagantly than your sister's, but you find solace that at the end of the large training day, there is this sort of happy creature that seems just happy to get some playtime and some snuggles in. It's still, again, very, like I said, very much a trained familiar, so sticks closer to Cersei. But when given the opportunity, it does sort of attempt to play with the entirety of the party. With that being said, jumping back over to you, Nyoka, your best case scenario as you go through this would be to commission in one of the towns these plates that you want into these sort of scale mail on the exterior of the hood on your clothing. Would be to incorporate an armored hood to provide 14 stopping power. It is a common medium armor that exists. The price of which is standardly set to 350 Nilfgaardian crowns. Or Nilfgaardian florins, I should say.
Interesting. With that said, because I do have a portable crafting thing, would I not be able to do it myself or not?
to make this? Let's find out together. So this is fun. I love the crafting system in Witcher, and I shouldn't be surprised. Yoki, you constantly put me through this crafting system, so let's look together. You would need the diagram for this. So you need to visit a craftsman in order to gather this up. Okay, this would be a journeyman diagram that would cost you 524 crowns to get.
Okay. I'll pay that. You said 520?
524. And then so this is where we get into the nitty-gritty of it. It is cheaper to just buy this thing outright. Because then also you need to gather the materials.
Would the party be clued in on Nyoka's plan here?
Would I just tell y'all?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't tell y'all.
Well,
Y'all would see me rummaging. Y'all would see me looking for things. Y'all would see me probably going out hunting and bringing back deer and, tanning the hide or whatever fucking deer do. Yeah, he does it for himself,
Another way to phrase this: if we asked, would Nyoka tell us what the fuck you're doing?
Oh yeah, if y'all ask, I'll tell y'all. That's no problem. I have no problem with that.
Well, in that case, Cersei would offer the 300 some florins. It just
buy the hood.
Yeah.
But that really takes away the satisfying effect of doing it yourself.
Sure.
All right, I'll give you 673 crowns.
Yeah. Oh, it's not necessary, but if you insist.
It's not equivalent, but that's all I have. Yeah. And I'll buy the hood.
Okay. How many florins was it?
That would be 3. Oh, where'd it go? I lost it. Remember, it's 350 florins.
And how many crowns did I just receive?
673.
Just for the sake of the game and the whys, I just want to know how far into the process of trying to craft this thing before we interjected and Cersei paid for it.
Well,
just go
let's
get
say,
it.
let's
That doesn't say shit.
well, let's think. So there's, I would say, because hunting is not not uncommon for you guys here to have to do during your time. So traveling through and hunting and everything, but Nyoka's like hoarding pelts and things like that for the first couple of days, as well. Just kind of like going into town and like looking for specific random bits and bobs. So I would say maybe, when would you guys ask? Whenever all this behavior starts, him hoarding pelts and going into town and coming back with like a little tub of wax and random strips of leather and shit.
I think like somewhere halfway into his collecting of these things, Visha will say to the others, like, I think he's trying to build something. I could probably buy it for him. But this is better. And doesn't say a word to Nyoka. But I think she's the one to bring it up to the group.
Something else. I can't take anymore.
And I think maybe that night or the day after that being brought to our attention, Cersei will be like, hey buddy, you need help.
I mean, I don't need help.
Of course.
But, I am at a standstill. If that constitutes needing help, then I suppose.
Yeah, and Cersei would just say, well, what are you trying to accomplish?
Well, I suppose I need protection for my head. It didn't do well a while ago without having it. So I figured I'll try to craft some sort of armored hood.
Could you not commission a craftsman to do it when next we're in town?
I could if I had the coin, though crowns aren't the most valued here.
Oh, well, the coin I took when I began to travel with you all was also to help with anything that any of you may need, so I can pay for it.
I'll hand you a bag of crowns.
Oh, okay. And I will go with Nyoka to the craftsman or however he'd want to do it. If you want me to go with him, or if I just send him with, a lump sum and you give me the change, that also works.
Whichever floats your boat. I have no problem with you paying for it, or I could pay for it myself.
Visha quietly in the corner next to Kura counting her own coins, knowing that she has more than enough to cover this, but again says nothing.
You can never just ask for help. I don't understand.
It's because he's a stubborn old man.
I will say, during this process and these couple days that you spent kind of scrounging around and doing things on your own, Yoga, what you have gathered here, and feel free to add this to your sheet because you would just have this. You have a unit of ogre wax, as well as a unit of leather. You also have 4 units of thread. And as well, selling the pelts and things during your hunting would have yielded you 160 florins.
I'll give 60 florins to Cersei. I don't know if that equates or not, but yeah.
I will say as well, because everyone, I'm leaving this in. If you all would like to stop at a bank along the way, you may exchange your Redanian crowns for florins. That way you're dealing with one currency if you so choose.
Absolutely. I don't do math.
Visha doesn't trust banks.
We're not going to be audited, are we?
No. As a reminder, 1 Redanian crown is worth 1/3 of Nilfgaardian florins, so whatever your crown value is, divided by 3. That's how many florins you get. That is your exchange rate.
Visha doesn't trust banks, so she keeps all her money with her.
Fucking course she doesn't. All my money's in my mattress.
That's right.
I'm gonna abstain from doing this for right now and just keep my money as is. You never know, we go back to the north and we'll need it.
Wild gang.
Well, I'm not gonna make everybody make a whole trip just for me. I mean, I guess I'll keep my money.
You can go alone if you so choose. It's while you guys are in town at one point.
I'll accompany you if you like.
So feel free, for Kura, you may of course, like I said, exchange whatever crown you have divided by 3, and that's how much florins you would have. If there's any like percentile or whatever, you can fucking knock that off. You keep that many crowns. You keep like a single crown and just round it down. Excellent. I would like to note as well, everyone gave me shit for Economy Simulator, and no one but Williams decided to do the exchange rate. Fuck y'all.
You said everyone? I never said a thing. I said, you know what? I fuck with it. Do not lump me.
I gave all my crowns to
Not my problem anymore.
Cersei, so
I said
nothing
fuck
to
you.
exchange.
I'll own up to it. I said fuck you.
I want it to be stated that basically means Nyoka went to the bank to watch me struggle with this conversion rate.
Literally.
You were taught to count at the Griffin School, right? We'll
Yikes.
do multiples. 3,
Somewhat.
6, 9. Excellent. This is where we find our heroes now, however, having exchanged coin, commissioned an armored hood, learned some new spells and things, as they make their way through Vicovaro. We find them traveling along the road. You will be at Gweison Haul in a matter of maybe an hour or so. Is there any conversation you guys would like to have about stratagem? How you'd like to tackle this event?
There is a point, I think, when we're getting, closer, that Visha will look to the group, but specifically Cersei. Do you know if they have any issues with Witcher at Gweison Haul?
I wouldn't know, but I imagine not. Mages and witchers have worked together for centuries. I don't imagine they would not allow them in or anything.
Good. Right. Well, I mean, I've never really dealt with mages to this capacity, so a lot of the talking might fall on you, Cersei. I'll do my best, but
That's quite alright. It will be good to get to know them. Oh no, it would be good to get to know who's in charge of such a prestigious academy. What were you going to say, bro?
I was just gonna ask if they're not the friendliest. Are we going to do what we did last time? Is that part of the plan?
Visha just smiles.
Okay, got it.
Last time.
Oh, aye.
Don't worry about it, Cersei. I want you to be clean of our sins.
She, in response to what Kura has said, Visha will essentially do like a coin trick in her hands, where she is like, the coin is there, then suddenly it vanishes, and it's like her very silent way of like, I steal things, and so like, just never saying it out loud means it never happened, but she just does the little coin trick and makes it disappear.
I see. Well, I suppose when we get there, we should ask to speak with whomever is in charge regarding the dragon problem, and then we can try to glean information on our demon problem as well. Although, again, nobody needs to know that one's been set loose by one of ours.
Yes, of course. I think the more delicate we approach that particular problem, the better.
Hey.
So don't tell anyone you've released a demon, Nyoka.
Well, are we not saying the demon is released at all?
I think it'd be wiser to simply say that we've come across some strange happenings with a demon. We can give those kind of specifics, the kind of demon it is, and that we are looking, if anything, for protection from it. We
You're
definitely
looking for
should not.
protection, not to kill it.
No, Our goal is definitely to kill it, but I don't think a bunch of these particular mages need to know that you have released it and now it is actively hunting out in the world.
Why?
She blinks out of sync at Nyoka for a minute, and says, because then you are now the problem, and they won't give us the information. They will simply try to eliminate you.
That's just counterintuitive. To kill the monster hunter when there's monsters about. But I'll let you lead the way on this.
Yeah,
You
they're not going to
speak
see it that way.
You speak true, Nyoka, but I am not a betting woman on people's goodwill. So.
Me either.
Then we understand each other.
Well, I guess if it does come out that I released it, I'll be sure to silence them before it becomes public news.
Perfect. She has a very jolly expression at that. It's very much a thing of better than us, you know. If that's what we have to do to protect us, then that's what we do.
I'm gonna take a sip from my flask.
As you do this, you continue to travel. The climate of Ikavaro is warm. It's nice here. Even as it is now late spring. It is May 25th currently. And as you travel, you can feel the sun's rays on your skin. Move through this space, the warm hills of Ikavaro. And eventually you can see in the distance, not too far away, this great walled, almost looks like a fortress, towering over a walled, almost looks like a city. Gweison Haul is a large academy. It is not a singular tower like Aratuza, with a sprawling campus beneath its base. No, it's a connection of buildings. There's one large great hall that you can see. But there is stonework, crafted white stone, along with the black flag and the gold sun, the Nilfgaardian heraldry. You'll be there in moments. How are we all feeling as we see that flag hanging over the Academy's walls? We'll go around the room and just get everyone's thoughts. And we'll begin with Nyoka.
Well, taking it in as a whole, Nilfgaardians seem to have a way of life that is more welcoming across the board than most, which is something he appreciates and has no problem with at all. In fact, having Nilfgaardians rule the way they do might be beneficial for the mass of people in general, but given the Emperor's dealing with the Viper School, he could care less for who guides them. So there's no ill will seeing the flag. In fact, there's respect in seeing the flag. But there's also not a moment of hesitation for Nyoka if he is ever given the opportunity to change its leader.
Understood. Cersei, what are your thoughts? What is your emotion seeing all this?
It's a mixed bag. It's nervousness, seeing the Nilfgaardian heraldry in the distance, knowing that she's been essentially hiding the fact that she's a mage from the wider Nilfgaardian public. Knowing that the Duchess is doing her an enormous favor by not reporting her. And now she's about to make herself known again. It's also kind of missing a nostalgia of missing the schooling environment in a way. And aching to be back home where she knows the territory, knows the people, knows the culture of the school. She doesn't know the culture of the school. And that again makes her nervous. And then there's also the anxiety of waiting for her familiar to return to her with news of the North. And this foreboding feeling that she's not going to like what she reads.
Understood. Visha.
For Visha, it is strange. The Nilfgaardians, yes, they claim all are welcome, and yet there are places where there are mage hunters forcing mages to serve. And I think it strikes a particular chord for her because of her coloring and the idea of people being forced to do anything rubs her the wrong way. Though I think there is part of her that understands the logic of it. The idea of, if I gather all of the mages and have them work for me, then I don't have to worry about what the mages are doing. And then, of course, because her sister is a witcher, the idea that the Emperor has laid out such a lethal decree upsets her. I think even coming to Gweison Haul is strange for her because while her opinion of schooled mages has shifted a touch in knowing Cersei, any kind word she would have to say about it is that Cersei is the exception. I don't know that there is nervousness from Visha, but there is a guardedness in coming here and seeing the flag. She does not trust people on a good day, but when there are people who can very much be a threat to her and hers, the guard is even higher.
Understood. Finally, Kura.
I think for Kura, the biggest concern is knowing what the mages are expected to do. And we are about to walk into an area where basically her sister and Cersei are going to out themselves as being mages, and we don't know what's going to come of that. As far as the flag itself, we're in their home. I don't like what they're doing in other places, but here this is them. It's whatever.
Indeed. You all move. The wagon eventually reaches the walls, the open gates. You are looked at, assessed as you are welcomed into the walls. No one stops you. Not through the first wall. You make your way to the first hall. You can see students in robes discussing things on benches, having conversations. Others are working bits of magic openly in fields along the grass. Nothing dangerous, nothing terrible. But it's campus where you can see knowledge is celebrated. The students, you can see they come from all over. There is a uniform here. Very clearly, these sort of black robes that everyone's wearing. But they've taken some modification to it. Nothing as ostentatious as cutting the robes short or, denying themselves the sleeves. But there are bits of fur added. Little emblems, little medallions, things that are added to add some flair and flavor from where they came from. You also all see, as you travel along this way, there are others dressed more seriously in heavy leathers and armor with strange metallic shackles hanging from their belt. And for Cersei and Visha, there's an itchiness. As you cast your eyes, you can feel your skin irritate. You move. Eventually you reach this sort of welcoming area, let's call it. Where another gate is before you, the entrance to the main portion of the school. And there is a woman that steps out to stop your wagon. She carries those shackles. She wears the armor of a mage hunter. She has a scarf that is pulled down to her neck that could be easily pulled up over her mouth. A hood that is drawn back that would hide shoddily cut brown messy hair. She approaches your wagon and says, "Students or teachers?"
Visitors.
Visitors? Visitors from where?
Different locations, all of us. We come bearing news.
Bearing news. Kind of news.
The kind that the headmaster or headmistress of this establishment should hear.
Headmaster. Headmistress. Huh? You seek an audience with the director of magic.
Yes.
They're gonna want the same information I want from you. Where are you from? What's the news you have to discuss? You're coming into a magical academy expecting to speak with their, the top of their echelons. Give me a reason to give you a guide.
As Cersei is having this conversation with this woman, I would like to human perception would be it, but I would like to essentially assess her in that, like, is she really the person that we should be talking to for this thing? Like, is she trying to fool us in terms of her, like, status, to see if if it is necessary to give her this information.
Go ahead and give me human perception.
While that's happening, I would like to make it known that I am keeping an eye on our surroundings and just looking for anything that might be moving out of place.
Sure. While you're keeping an eye on the surroundings and everything, it's very well seen, obviously, across this campus way and this field, that you're being looked at. Students and whoever's in the area is looking at the wagon. It's not like you've painted this as a rainbow color and are drawing all the attention, but you're newcomers, and it's very clear that this wagon is new, and this isn't just like a regular caravan of supplies or anything like that. This is a new experience. So there are students, teachers, onlookers that are kind of just whispering and pointing and kind of smiling and wondering what could be happening. Result of your roll, Risha.
17.
17. Very clearly, this is a mage hunter. This is someone with authority. Whether or not this is the person you're supposed to be giving this information to, difficult to say. Obviously, the mage hunters are here for a purpose. Maybe to provide security, maybe to provide protection for the crown in case something goes wrong here. But difficult to say if they're the person you should be talking to. This is somebody with authority that would pass us up the chain. If this is the individual that is in charge of it all, it's kind of hard to say. And as you assess this, conversation continues. Cersei.
Cersei says, "My name is Cersei Aveline. I hail from Toussaint. I am a mage myself. My party and I would like to speak with your director of magic regarding a dragon that threatens all of Nilfgaard."
Dragon. Wasn't aware that Toussaint raised mages themselves, or had an academy, let alone raise dragon slayers.
You know very well that they don't. But my background is unimportant, but the matter of the dragon is.
Well, I suppose that's for us to decide. And rest assured, we'll take your claims very seriously and under advisement. As she continues to speak, she's interrupted by a young man, not in black robes, but sort of has fur along his shoulders, is wearing dark pants and a white shirt underneath the furs. He's heavily tattooed on along his neck, going up to into his jaw, and has a singular eye that looks like it's been punched, just a black eye. His hair is tied back into a braid, and he kind of, not like sprinting over, but sort of jogging over and says, Sorry, apologies. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I was only stepped away for a moment. Don't tell me you're scaring away guests already. Hello, I'm Braywick. I sort of the campus guide for this week. What can I do for you? This is apology. I don't mean to. He kind of looks at the mage hunter a little bit more. You've seen mage hunters obviously looked at very seriously, and to say this person is not looking at them seriously is an incorrect statement. But they look at them a little more friendly, like as if they've dealt with them before, and says, "Bela, tell me you've been kind at the very least while I stepped away." And this mage hunter kind of just, I did my duty. Excellent. Well, this is Fela. I hope you've all been well acquainted. What can I do for you?
Well, we just wanted to speak to your director about some news hailing from further north, within Nilfgaard, but further north.
I see. Is Miss Lefray expecting you, or is there is this a sort of just kind of drop in?
Oh, a drop-in, mage to mage. Feels important for us to let each other know what's going on in the world. No?
I couldn't agree more. Fela, I can take it from here if you'd like to just return to your rounds. Thank you for watching my post. I very much appreciate it. And Fela, this individual who you now know as Fela, kind of looks and just eyeballs all of you.
Visha winks at her.
Takes a step back. And then returns back into this sort of, not a guardhouse or anything like that, but just sort of an offshoot. Like a visitor center almost. And the young man again identified as Berwick, and says, "Please forgive her. The mage hunters are here as a precaution, nothing more. And she takes her job entirely too seriously. We haven't had an incident in centuries, I think. Not since I've been here, so it's been some time. But you said you were mages yourselves.
That's right.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. Are you academy trained? Are you alumni returning? Do you bring news? But do you bring stories back home, or is this a first time appearance for all of you?
First time.
Excellent. Then I will, if you give me one moment, I will take down. Might I have your names? So that I might move this up the chain, as it were. And then I can bring you to. Well, I don't want to assume. I'm just we're very proud of our situation here. I can grant you a guided tour, as you wait for a space to become available. We can grant you some rooms if you'd like to wait, if it becomes a situation where you need to wait a little longer. Or if you'd like
Can I
to
peruse you all's library, if you all have one?
We have an excellent library. Depending on what you'd like to research, there are a couple different. There's smaller libraries throughout the campus. But yes, absolutely.
Wonderful. Visha Kumari, pleasure to meet you. And she'll put her hand out to shake his hand.
Vishkumar, it's a pleasure to meet you. He kind of clasps his hands over yours. Gives a little squeeze. Doesn't do the typical thing that most people do when they meet a mage or a woman of high station, and like that little like not kiss that they do. But he just kind of grips your hand, and says, "It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Welcome to Gweison Haul. Visha Kumari," and he takes a quick piece of parchment out of his pocket and begins to scroll it down.
Cersei Aveline. Lovely to meet you.
Cersei Aveline, where do I know that name? Are you from, where do I know that name? Is there an estate?
Oh, yes. I have a, I'm blanking on the word, vineyard in Toussaint. I'm the proprietress of a winery.
No, I don't think that's where I know you from. But the name does sound familiar. It's just on the very forefront of my mind. I just need to grasp at it. But Miss Aveline, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. He reaches out his hands if you take them.
Yes, she will. Be polite.
He takes your hand and says, "Welcome to Gweison Hall." And gestures to the other two.
I will offer my hand, and before he can do the clasp thing, I'm going to actually shake his hand. Kura.
He is prepared to do the class thing, and he shakes your hand and kind of wiggles a little bit. You can see he's not. You took him off guard. He doesn't have an opportunity to give a firm handshake, but he kind of just is wiggled by you and says, "Welcome to Gweison Hall."
Not a mage. Sorry.
I gathered maybe from your armor. I don't mean to make assumptions, but we tend to keep things a little lighter. It keeps the flow of the energies through. Welcome to Gweison Hall, nonetheless.
Nyoka of Gorther.
He holds his hands out. To take yours. Nyoka, do you offer your hand?
I stare at him. blankly.
Bisha looks at him and is like,
Nyoka of Gore, what?
Gorther.
Nyoka of Gorther, welcome to Gweison Hall. He kind of doesn't really know what to do with his hands and just kind of grips them. I will get your name set up and that you wish to speak with Miss Lefray, and we'll get you situated. In the meantime, if you just wait here a moment, and we'll pass that information up the chain, and I will I'll take you to the libraries to peruse if you wish in your waiting period. Please, you are guests here. Is there anything? I'm not sure from whence you traveled, but is there anything that I can get for you in the interim before we head to the library? Is there food, drink? Do you require quarters for you to sleep?
Quarters would perhaps be lovely, in case things go on longer than anticipated. Of course, we don't want to overstay our welcome or anything of that sort.
Nonsense. Gweison Haul is relatively open to the public, especially for traveling mages and visiting studiers of the arcane. We welcome all kinds here. I will get you a put an order in to see if what dormitories are open. And in the meantime, we'll take a quick round to the library, and we'll go from there. Does that sound all right with everybody?
Very much
Yes.
so.
Excellent. Give me one moment. And he kind of gives a small bow and steps into that building where Phala had gone, leaving you all a moment alone if you so choose to speak with one another.
Choose to sneak.
Brother,
You want to sneak?
there are mages everywhere.
Already.
I want to follow him and eavesdrop.
We're still actively being watched by everybody around as new.
Not if I
comers,
sneak.
aren't we?
Go ahead and give me a stealth roll.
While Nyoka's being Nyoka, Visha is going to sort of look over to Cersei and Kura
and say, boy had a right shiner on his eye. Is that
Or
normal for schools?
Not the one I came from.
I see. I wonder who gave it to him.
I'm more
Maybe I'll
wonder
take some
why.
bets. Oh, right, exactly. I mean, from his demeanor, you would think this place is peaceful.
I also have a message coming in soon. I should probably tell them if they see a fox to send them my way. Worry that they'll snoop in my letters.
Right, and with these mage hunters around, who knows what'll happen to the fox. It is strange that they would keep mage hunters so close,
It is.
right?
I don't
Okay,
I don't like that itchy feeling that
right.
During
I
this
felt near that
conversation, apologies for interruption, but I do need an awareness roll from the three of you as well while this conversation is going on.
A 1.
21.
16,
Oh,
21, and
what?
1.
Yeah, 1. I rolled a 1.
Help God.
Understood. Please continue.
Yeah, no, that feeling is uncomfortable.
Well, I imagine that's them wanting the government to control its resources in some way, shape, or form.
Though everyone else seems rather comfortable. And she's like looking out at this sprawling campus and how everyone's kind of just having a good time. They don't seem. Actually, question for you, storyteller. Whenever one of the students, maybe passes by or comes within proximity to the mage hunters, can we see any sign of discomfort?
Yes, you can see very clearly that the mage hunters are relatively avoided. They're not spoken with like Brailwick. Just spoke to Phala. They're kind of set dressing. They speak to only really one another. And any mage that gets too close, they kind of shy away from them. And there's cast eyes every once in a while at the shackles, you can clearly see.
Right, not everybody is happy to have them here.
I couldn't imagine why.
Our guide seemed very comfortable. No discomfort from him. Not a mage.
Or just used to it because that's all he's ever known.
But it seems, I don't know, maybe this is how academies are run. Where they keep someone who's not necessarily a mage around to guide about, but it just seems off.
It certainly does.
You all have this discussion. Meanwhile, you've not noticed that Nyoka has slipped away. Nyoka, you wanted to follow behind Brailwick.
Yes.
Now, you are unseen by your companions, unseen by Brailwick and Phala so far as you can see. Whoever might have been watching from the outside, you're unsure. But you move. And you follow Brailwick, kind of stepping beside, blending in, trying to keep your hood up. You move through this small building. He passes the information, which you can see this parchment, to another individual sitting at a desk reading a book. And he says, "We have guests that are hoping to speak with the director of magic. They hail from various portions of the Empire. They say they have news. Phala said that they had news of a dragon, so I need you to make this a priority. And we, in the meantime, while this goes on, I'm going to set them up with quarters. What open dormitories do we have available currently?" And there's a conversation that briefly discussed as they look over sort of a logbook that you can see, Nyoka. And really logistics are happening here as this is going on. Is there anything else you'd like to do while you're in here?
Boring. Where's Phelia? Is she in here?
Go and give me an awareness roll, if you'd like to look for Phala.
Was that 23?
I think you can see as you move throughout the space, kind of abandoning Brailwick and the logistics of finding a room and the tour that is about to be given. You look into one of these off rooms and find Phala. What looks like she's cutting up what looks like a root vegetable before sitting down back at some sort of desk and poring over some notes, writing things down and taking bits of this veggie and popping into her mouth.
Is her back towards me? I guess I'll just be upfront with what I'm attempting to do. I would like to steal the shackles.
Her back is not towards you. It would make a poor mage hunter to have their back to the door of their sort of office. She is facing the wall. If you're looking at the doorway, she's facing the right wall. But she is poring over notes. The shackles are on her right side. You can see the shackles very clearly. How do you want to go about this?
I would like to take one of the recently earned florins and toss it, distracting them. Hopefully, distract them long enough to pocket the shackles, to cut the shackles free from, I don't know, are they on a leather band or are
Looks
they
like a quick release sort of leather loop. The same you would have a pair of shackles, like a regular pair of shackles, that you would need to quickly access. So go ahead and as we're going through this, let's see. I'm gonna need a roll.
This is a sound strategy.
This is a decent strategy. Go ahead and give me. This is gonna be your dexterity and your sleight of hand.
19.
Take one of these florins, and it's casting coins in this time period is not a simple matter of making everything completely circular. It does roll a little bit wobbly, so you take it, and it's up to luck. It's up to you can only do so much really kind of rolling across the floor. up to luck to keep it continuing until it hits the wall. But you roll this off to along the floor, and it hits the corner wall. You can see about halfway across the room, her eyes perk up. She stands and goes to that wall. What do you do, Nyoka?
Yeah, I attempt to set out what I was trying to do with my stealthy strong thighs. I'll try to, as quickly and quietly as possible, come in and take them and leave.
Okay. So describe to me. I'll offer you some choices here because I think you and I have discussed.
I would also like to take the freshly made food that she made.
You and I have discussed certain like stealth stuff offline, and there are certain tactics that have been done throughout history that I find very interesting, albeit very Looney Tunes-esque. The imagery of someone walking directly behind somebody, matching steps, sort of holding their breath, being inches behind them, and sort of matching their movements, is a viable thing that has happened throughout history for stealth. Is that what you're going through, or are you going to duck under the desk and cut the strap free whenever she sits down again? What's the play here?
Well, the play is to, I guess, that's, I feel like matching the steps would be a sound strategy. If there is something to be noticed and, I do grab their attention, I would just like to begin eating their food. Understood.
So go ahead. I need a couple rolls from you. First one's going to be a stealth roll to start to match the steps and everything like that. Remember that you do have luck.
I'm pretty stealthy. What is that? 25? 17 plus 8?
You begin to match step behind this individual. Anyone who sees you directly behind her, holding your breath, matching steps. She takes a step. She kneels down to pick up this florin, and she stays there sort of squatted, looking at it for a second. And this is your moment to grab the shackles, Nyoka. Now I need a sleight of hand roll from you, please.
I'll use luck on this one. I'll use 3 luck.
We've been at this place for 5 minutes. I want the audience to know we've been here for 5 minutes.
5 minutes is all you need.
23.
As she crouches down, you take one of your daggers and just sort of cut the strap. And as the shackles begin to fall and almost begin to clink, you muffle it with your gloved hands, tucking them close to your chest, wedging them between the armor, preventing the clink. Using your stealth roll that you had before, you back away and quickly snatch up the vegetable she was chewing on. As she stands, you take a few steps backwards out of the room. None the wiser that you were there.
I will take my leave back to the party while I'll chew on this vegetable.
Understood. As you are all having this conversation, again, you haven't really noticed that Nyoka has been gone. And Nyoka, using your stealth roll, I'll ask you this: would you like to be seen coming out of the building by your friends, or would you like to sort of jump stealth back the way into the wagon?
Uh, I guess maybe not necessarily coming out of the place, but walking towards back to the wagon. I guess
Okay, understood. So you make your way, and for our core party, the rest of you you see Brillick come outside again, and as he begins to speak, he says, "Well, we've got a quarter set up for you. I should be getting a notification on what dormitory you'll be is open up for you. As well, we have approval for you to peruse the libraries, and your information has been passed up the chain. The Director of Magic will be hopefully seeing you very shortly. At least we'll get a time frame of when they'll be able to open their schedule for you. Again, I don't have a full scope of how long that might be just yet, but I'll be notified during our tour if that's all right with all of you. I apologize, I don't have things right off of the way, but these things are all moving, and I don't know the Director of Magic's schedule just by heart. It's not my real purview. And as they speak and as they say this, you can see Nyoka step out, Brelick's back turned toward the door. Nyoka step out and just walk back to the wagon.
Visha, just like the corner of Visha's mouth kind of quirks up for a second, but then back to, normal expression. No, thank you for all that you have done so far. We did happen to drop in last minute. It's all right if we've got to wait a little.
Happy that you're here. So please, I'll show you where you can park your wagon, and we can get the horses situated. And in the meantime, after that, we can begin your tour. Does that sound all right with everyone?
Sounds great.
Perfect.
Excellent. And again, welcome to Gweison Haul. Please let me and he'll kind of step in front of the horses and kind of hold his hand up and kind of get their attention, and begins to guide the wagon to where you might be able to park it, essentially. Who is driving? Remind me who's driving the wagon. Excellent. That leaves Cersei and Visha within the wagon, unless someone's sitting next to Kura while they drive, to see Nyoka return.
So, find anything interesting?
He is chewing on a root vegetable.
I got this root vegetable.
Hey, can we feel the weird itchy feeling?
Do you have them tucked away still, Nyoka?
Well, as soon as right after the root vegetable, I'll pull them out and say, and I got these shackles.
No.
Or what?
In case we need them.
Or
I mean, from my understanding, they kind of halt magic ability, correct? So in case we need to halt magic around us or for a specific individual, various reasons. For us, for them, I don't know.
Proactive?
Never know.
Oh, I was going to say Cersei's not going to share in this moment the fact that she has had her own pair of dim meridian shackles in the secret compartment this whole time. She'll let him have this.
Do you mind putting it away?
Sure.
Makes the skin crawl. Sorry.
Can I put this in your little secret compartment?
No, Edge broke me. The little smile, I can't.
Cersei blinks out of sync. Sure.
You may place this. You may open the secret compartment. The Gymbernium shackles that you have, Cersei, have been tucked away and kind of wrapped in cloth because when you first acquired these, as we cast our eyes way back to Ways of Old, you had wrapped them in cloth because you were a less trained mage then. It still hurt to touch. They were still very much. It was still just painful to be around. You have grown to where it's just sort of this irritation, this itchy feeling. You may have Nyoko put these in the compartment itself, alongside, I believe, your book.
Yes, she'll open up the secret compartment, and yeah, she'll move the lockbox kind of to the side so there's room for the shackles to be placed in there.
Do this.
I'll place them in there. I took them from Phalia. Phalia?
Ayla.
Phala.
That's an easy name, brother. I don't know how you're fucking this up.
I'm not good with names. I didn't like her false sense of power.
On that, we agree. I imagine the mage hunters, well, at least Phala behaves that way because she's scared of mages.
I would imagine. Maybe trauma. I'm not sure.
Oh, I might do some digging while we're here. It looks like we're gonna have a bit of time.
Well, I'll be spending my time in the library in case you all need me.
All right.
Meanwhile, outside, Kura, you are gifted with Brailwick's explanation of Gweison Haul, as it begins to already explain that Gweison Haul was once just Vicavaro's magical academy. Now, whenever Vicavaro slowly began to accept sort of Nilfgaardian rule, it has become quite the reputable academy for magic. He also draws the comparisons, as your sister and Cersei already know, that the Imperial Magic Academy is more so for the wealthier and the people that pay their way. Gweison Hall is a place that welcomes all, commoners alike. So most of the students that you see here, these are commoners. These are people that were just gifted with arcane magical abilities and needed some training, needed some control, and are here to learn such. As he talks, you can understand that he's very proud of this academy. He's been here for some time. He is a sort of adjunct professor here. He begins to explain the separation and the way things are organized here. The curriculum is organized in terms of elemental studies. So if you have a particular affinity for fire magic or water magic, air, so on and so forth, or if there's a general studies, a sort of mixed blend as the arcane arts go, there's an option for that as well. However, the one thing that it does kind of not isolate, but has branched off from it, there is a particular focus, a particular curriculum for healing magic. That is separated from its own, this sort of elemental classification. He explains Gweison Hall to you, Kura, and he seems very passionate. Go ahead and give me human perception.
That was a 1. So it imploded. I don't remember how that works.
So you roll a 1, and then you roll again.
Also a 1.
Cool. You'll subtract 1 from your base. So what is your human perception? Your base is
6.
Yeah, your base is made up of the skill and the attribute.
Empathy and human perception, right? Which would be 7, so -1, 6.
Would be 6. Perfect. Yeah, you take this at face value. He's kind of just excited to explain Gweison Hall. He seems like a very passionate individual. But as you draw closer to where you were able to park the wagons and the stables and everything like that, he ushers the rest of you sort of out of the wagon, offering a hand if any of you would like to take it as you step off of the wagon and back onto the ground.
Yeah. Visha will take the hand offered. And then I think once like everybody is out, she'll say, Brailwick, that is your name, correct?
Relic, yes.
Yes. I don't mean to pry, but you seem to have a bit of, it's a bit dark and swollen. Are you all right?
Oh, yes. I am a practitioner of earth magic. This is where I offer my expertise at. And I've been conducting some experiments, trying to craft some new methods of harnessing chaos. I had a bit of a snag, and this is the result, you see. I don't... Unfortunately, I'm not as just a sort of temporary adjunct professor. I don't have my own laboratory, so there is some renovations going on to one of the public laboratories, so we'll be avoiding that wing for this little tour. But no, nothing to worry about. This is just the result of progress.
She smiles. Hey, human perception. Is his body language giving me
Sure.
that maybe he is being deceitful?
Sure. Go ahead and give me your perception.
17.
He doesn't seem like he's being deceitful. Likely there's more to the story. But yeah, he seems like this is the result of progress, and this is the result of him trying to craft a new spell. There's certainly going to be more to the story, but it's just he's not lying. He just kind of fucked up.
Yeah, some embarrassment there.
Well, she's like, well, if you're all right, then nothing to be concerned about then.
Perfectly fine. We have fantastic healers on campus, and they helped to a degree. But I wanted to keep the reminder. I think it's important to keep small things and to let things lie. So otherwise, how do we learn?
She smiles. Right you are, Professor.
Please, please follow me this way. And he leads you into the main hall, the main building of Gweison Haul. Into the polished white stone. You step forward through double doors, and there is a large space, this open, sort of echoey, almost like a cathedral area, it looks like. Polished floor stone, long windowed archways. The Nilfgaardian heraldry hangs at the back, the golden adornments all across the pillars and the grey stone. There are students in here having discussions, but there are also what look like proper guards or soldiers. And at the very back, there is a stained glass window, stained with whites and yellows, that allow the sunlight to filter through and wreath this sort of statue in a halo of light. The statue itself is of a man, huge. You wouldn't, if you're standing up next to it, you would reach maybe its ankle. It's on a sort of elevated stone area, not a step really, but up on the waist level. And the statue itself, again, you would reach its ankle. It's huge. It's of a man with a sword, not wielding it, but sort of almost holding it like a cane, the point of the sword touching into the ground. He holds this flame. You can tell it's not a lit brazier or anything like that. There's no torch, but it's an orb of arcane white flame. And the statue is of Emperor Amir. The white flame of Nilfgaard. The Emperor himself. Wreathed in the sun's glow. And as Brelwick guides you, moving you through this space, you feel the Emperor's eyes upon you, watching. And his glow, his flame, his light warms your skin. And that is where we're going to take our break. We'll see you all very, very shortly. Fate and destiny will always find each other.
Tell me, what shall I teach you of monsters?
How could we know who the real monsters are? How does one know if they are one?
Monsters are more than just horrid looks and claws and teeth. Monsters are born of deeds done, unforgivable ones.
We fight the monsters so that others can know peace. Peace that we will never know.
So you ready to kill monsters, huh? The question you should ask yourself is, are you willing to become one?
Hello and welcome back to our episode of Wish Your Last Light. We now join our heroes where we left off. We had seen them walk through this hall with this giant statue of Emperor Mir von Emrys, the Emperor of Nilfgaard, and they were guided to this great library. This is where we find them now, in this great library with Browick, the guide to Gweison Haul, allowing them to pick and research and peruse through the library at Gweison Hall, the main library. He is there for all of you to ask questions, to sort of understand the Academy's organization system, and things like that. He'll also be the one that's getting messages from other professors as well as the staff of Gweison Hall regarding your quarters and the director's schedule to see if you'll be able to meet with her today. This is where we find all of you now, in the Great Library. Is there anything that we would that you would like to discuss or peruse together? Would you all like to do here?
I have 3 topics. Elder folk pertaining to the Wild Hunt, dragons, and demons.
Understood. So, for you, there's going to be 3 rolls. In order for you to go through this, and as you have a guide to help you out in this library, Brel will offer you a bonus to your roll. Finding, I say 3 rolls, but in reality, finding things on the elder folk and regarding the Wild Hunt. Yeah, I'm going to require a roll for that as well. It's the Wild Hunt. So go ahead and give me I'll give you a choice of either intelligence deduction or intelligence education.
I'll take deduction. You sure you don't want to do awareness? You sure?
Positive.
Oh, okay.
Since
Just
we're
making
all
sure.
going to be researching stuff, do you want us just to go ahead and make those rolls in advance?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, let's do this. Absolutely. So whatever topics of arcane or historical knowledge, it'll be your choice of education or deduction. If it's a little more refined, a little more strange, we can talk about monster lore. We can talk about magical, like spell casting, things like that. Yeah, but for things like that, for things in terms of historical or arcane knowledge, go ahead and give me deduction or education.
Visha is going to look for books on the history of Gweison Hall. She is looking for a particular name, but she is, gonna generally say to homeboy over here that she wants to know the history of Gweison Hall.
Understood. Go ahead and give me deduction or education.
Education is what I chose, and I got a 17.
Okay, everyone, we'll go in order, but hold on to your rolls. Let's get everyone's topics first. Kura, what are you researching if given the opportunity?
I have 3 topics as well:
Mm-hmm.
dragons, demons, witchers.
Understood. Cool. Choose one topic first, and then we'll get to the other two, and then we'll do the roll for that first one. You don't have to tell me just yet, but hold on to the roll. Cersei.
Cersei is simply going to look for a singular topic, and that is protections and safeguards against demons. Is that something I can roll magic training on?
Yes, for our mages, for any of the arcane topics, you can absolutely roll magic training if you so choose.
So in that case, I got a 28.
Hold on to your roll. Going back to the very top, Nyoka, your first topic was the wild hunt and the elder folk. What was the result of your roll?
28. I exploded.
28. You gather a lot of the rumors that are well known as well. You can see that Browick is not very well equipped for this topic, but he guides you to a section on the history, or rather the myth of the wild hunt, the rumors, but I am sorry to say that much as we have seen in your history, no library is as has been so knowledgeable on this as the one in the Viper School back in the day. There is stories and myths here. You know that they are elder folk. You know that they commit raids across the continent for slaves, for some unknown purpose. You know that the group is not tied to the White Frost, but it is a coming winter that threatens the continent as well as has threatened the wild hunt in the past. You go through this, and it is things you've read before for the most part, but it's all sort of categorized under myth and legend, things like that.
If I could, to try to get something more, I guess, factual, would there be anything that might lead to ancient elven magic or mages?
Yes. So with that, I won't have you roll again. You said it was 27?
28.
28. You tie them in your research to the elder folk. They are a group of what is called the Ainel Elves from Tir Nalia. They are, in their known elder speech, known as the Dergudrai. They are led by the King of the Wild Hunt. And in this research, tying back, going the history of when the Wraiths of Morhog, the Wild Hunt, the Red Riders, the Red Horsemen, the Phantom Riders, whatever name you wish to call them, whenever this was formed, he was their general. Aridin Bratglass. Which, for you, Nyoga, I think you've ever known his name. But now you have a name of the enemy. Is there anything you dig further into with this information?
I mean, I feel like there's probably not much more I could go off of, unless there's any details of old locations. I know the elder folks' homes were destroyed, much like the Witcher School, but I guess any ruins or anything like that.
With your role, you gather rumors of places of power where they had been frequented. Portals, or rumored portals, now long since destroyed. You can gather locations if you wish. Again, this is rumor, conjecture. But you could mark a map and investigate if you wish.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that.
You can do this. We go around and let's go in the order I asked the question, I suppose. We'll get back to your second and third topic very shortly, Yoka. But what is the second topic? Let's have that roll real quick. What is the second topic you wished?
For me,
Yes.
what did I say? Demons and Dragons.
What do you want to start with?
Let's go with dragons.
Okay.
Uh,
Hold on to your roll. We'll move over to you, Visha. What was your topic?
My topic was the histories of Gweison Haul. I'm particularly interested in moments where they had incidents.
Interesting.
The roll I got was 17.
17. Brelwick is happy to bring you toward a section on the history of Gweison Hall. You pour over this, and he kind of narrates to you which tome would detail what. As we previously discussed, Gweison Hall was formed in Vicovaro and was just an academy of Vicovaro. I don't feel the need to reiterate something you just heard not 30 minutes ago out of game. But that's what you gather. And as far as incidents go, the most recent incident you can find is an incident about 100 years ago where a student went kind of rogue and tried to sort of take over the school and trying to influence the professors and everything like that. Was a very charming student and tried to sort of form a magical army that was quickly taken down by mage hunters. But you were focusing on hoping for a specific name. What name is that?
We learned that the one mage that was messing around with Goetia hailed from here. And so she was trying to see if there was anything written up about the experience that mage had. We can imagine that in practicing that particular kind of magic, there was likely an area of effect that occurred with others within the school as well.
You find a name. She was the previous director of magic. Her name was Glynis, and all that you find is that she resigned. Suddenly, abruptly. And the academy lost contact with her.
Brelwick.
Yes.
Were you around teaching at this time? When Glynis was the director?
I had just started my tenure, yes. Well, I can't say tenure, but yes. I had just begun my stint as an adjunct professor.
Oh. What was she like? If you can recall.
Glynis. Hard woman. She was well, she was the director of magic. She was a practitioner of all kinds, and she was one of the greatest sorceresses that the Academy ever produced. Very very patriotic and very dedicated. She expanded magic into all fields. She was a stern yet fair ruler, and she led the academy well. It was quite the surprise when she decided to go off on her own and without really giving a chance for anyone to step forward as a successor. It was a bit of a sprint to figure out who would lead the school afterwards.
Can imagine. It's strange though. Has something like that ever happened before? Someone of such renown to simply go off on their own.
Not in my time, I don't think. No, not that I can think of, no.
Interesting. And this fellow here, an army?
Oh, yes. Delusions of grandeur. I say we, but the staff at the time, after he was subdued, he didn't survive the experience, unfortunately, and there was an autopsy done. There was a tumor that was found that was affecting his cognitive function.
Huh.
He, from the reports, saw himself as a god of magic, and was just all very to say it's a stain on the history of the academy is an understatement. It was a very dark moment.
Right. I don't say anything further to Berwick, but I do look at the dates between when Glynis left and this man. Is this man before her time or after?
Yes, Glynis only left maybe 40 years ago.
Okay. Interesting. Fascinating, these histories of the school. I've always found histories very interesting.
Gweison Haul's history is one for the ages, and it's continuously growing. We produced a number of great mages. There's been a large burst of pride in our alumni.
Well, that's wonderful. Visha, once she's sort of done looking at these things, I think she is going to kind of wander a little. And she is going to not look, or rather not ask Berwick for help in looking for this next topic. She wants to see if there are any books here of Goetia. Or if they left when their director left.
Understood. Going over to you, Kura. What was your first topic you'd like to look into?
It was dragons, and I used monster lore in place of Witcher training in place of monster lore.
Understood.
And I got 20.
Yeah, there's a history of sightings, as well as a timeline you can see of when they were hunted, and sort of monster hunters were using this as a sort of a test of their mettle, and seeing when they were hunted to seeming extinction. You get the classifications of and rumors of gold dragons, and the classifications of reds and greens. There's not a plethora of knowledge here, but there's a good font of wisdom in this. Is there anything you're looking for in
This-
particular?
I would probably stop and pay some attention to the hunts and how they went and what they did and how they went about things. But with there being timelines of them, I want to look and see if this particular one that's here, if there was ever any hunts called for a black dragon in this area of Nilfgaard before.
Absolutely. Give me your roll one more time.
Like re-roll it, or just you need the number?
Need the number.
20. And that's without his assistance.
Understood. You look at the history of dragons in Nilfgaard and the scale, the color of the scales that are reported. You find a history of hunts. Going back, what you can see is 80 years ago, there was rumor of a black-winged beast flying overhead. Further than that, 200 years ago, there was an unsuccessful hunt. Right in the parapet, right in the swamps, where the mountains overlook where this dragon resides. All but one. Not burned, but bathed in noxious gases that blistered their skin, popped their eyes, made them bleed from every hole in their face. He was titled by this lone survivor who had was found wandering near the edge of the swamps, eyes bleeding, blind, half deaf, and died shortly of some disease after. The name that they had given the dragon was Raeltheth the Tyrant.
Looking into that hunt specifically, I would like as many on those specific hunts, the one from 80 and 200. Well, 80 years ago was just rumors, right? There was no actual hunt.
Right.
So from the one 200 years ago, looking into what they brought, trying to learn from their mistakes, basically how many, what tools, all the information I can get.
8 men went in. 1 survived. They went in with swords, spears, halberds. There was experimental weapons brought in made with sort of black powder. But no, there was no heavy arms. There's been mention in this group of wanting to somehow procure a ballista. There were no ballistas. There were no heavy armaments that used against this thing. You've noted that you are looking at hunts. Are you looking specifically at just now this rumor of this black-winged creature from 80 years ago? Are you digging into anything else aside from hunts?
I think that would catch my eye and I would lose myself in that topic. So I'd be not just looking at the hunts for this one, though, but other dragons that were hunted successfully and trying to learn from history how they did it would be the primary focus.
Understood. Hunting dragons was a sport for whole adventuring parties, mercenary groups, monster hunting groups, of 15 to 20 individuals at the lowest numbers. People that joined in knew that there was likely, they knew the dangers going into it, but the opportunity to say that you slayed a dragon is an allure that used to bring people in. Of course, there are some that were able to lure out whenever a dragon would hunt people's livestock, or in a particular hunting ground, they'd lure this thing out and bring out heavy armaments such as ballistas and be able to shoot it out of the sky. But largely, overwhelming it with numbers is the tactic, or bringing it into a location that you have the advantage, such as like with the ballistas in its hunting ground. What is your second topic you wish to look into?
It was going to be on demons. And the way that I would phrase this to him is that I believe we encountered one, and I believe it is going to be a plague. I want to assist in whatever way I can.
We'll get to that very shortly. Cersei, what's the topic you wish to research?
Cersei wanted to research demons, but particularly how to safeguard against them, and she would not have asked for help. She would have relied on her own instinct and knowledge of other libraries to try to figure out where this section may be.
Understood. So, having gone all the way around, and having, I believe, 3 of the 4 of you on the topic of demons, or all 4 of you are on the topic of demons, I believe, right now, correct? All 4 of you. I can firmly say, and I apologize if you've already made the roll, there is no roll that would help you here. There is no section on demonology or Goetia. There is simply no category for this type of teaching. And Cersei, having found this, would you like to speak with Braylock about this topic?
Would I hear that Kura would I essentially have heard that Kura expressed interest in this topic for the and why?
Well, let's say, let's get through. Tell you what, let's get through Kura and Yoka's other last topics, and then we can kind of assemble together on the demon thing. Sound good?
Okay.
Sick. Nyoko, what else were you looking into aside from demons and the? You're looking at dragons, correct?
Yeah, if you wanna just collab me with Curious findings with dragons, then that's fine too.
Perfectly fine. I imagine you guys
like we're all kind of
I would
one, you know.
I would ask you: are you looking at the same thing for the hunts and everything, or are you looking at more myth, legend, and historian as well?
I guess more myth, legend.
Understood. So for you, go ahead and give me your roll whenever you let me know whenever you're ready.
26.
26. Looking at myth and legend, there is, that Kura is focusing more on the hunting aspect and what were successful hunts like. Going into this, you find categories and everything written, a gathered collection of stories by an individual named Dorg. What a hell of a name. Dorgaray of Vol was the author of all these myths and legends, that brings together stories and classifies them in the same sort of color system as the dragons that you've seen so far. Most recently, there are two names that stand out that have had dealings or interactions with dragons that you think would be of help to you. One is an individual that is still at large or still out and about, you think, judging just based on age, but is known to have defeated a green dragon not maybe 90, 100 years ago. She is a mage. Her name is Bronwyn Deadeye, and she is the one and only trained sorceress of Banard.
The Bronwyn of Deadeye.
Bronwyn Deadeye.
Of Banard.
Correct. She is a monster hunter, known for spells such as Bronwyn's Bow, Bronwyn's Gust, and Bones of Glass.
But no known location.
Still active, still hunting monsters, still a capable warrior. What you can see looking further into this individual, because there is a sort of subsection of who she is, where she's from. She was trained in Banard, the one and only sorceress that graduated from Banard, as Banard is an all-boys academy, and was born on Spike Rug and Skellige.
Interesting. And the other?
The other is less warrior-esque, less monster hunter, more negotiator politician, and is rumored some 150 years ago, maybe 200 years ago, to have had an interaction, a conversation, and maybe struck an accord with a dragon that was within Nilfgaard. The mage's name would be Cadfan of Ebbing. Whom you guys killed.
Hey gang, I hate it here.
We caught that. We caught that. Thanks.
Yeah, Kurt caught it the first time you said
Okay,
it.
just wanted to be clear.
I hope you
Yes,
stub your
killed that
toe.
guy.
I would, upon finding this, I would take the document and slide it silently or slowly over to Visha and Kura, and I won't say nothing.
There's your master's name again, Visha.
Isha, she takes one look at this document, sees his name, and that he struck an accord with the dragon. Does it say what kind of dragon he struck an accord with?
It doesn't. It says that he had claimed in certain circles when coming to court in certain Nilfgaardian territories, or when would visit Gweison Haul, was claimed very proudly that he had struck an accord with a dragon for peace and to leave his domain to himself.
I think her body is poised over this document, but her eyes just move over to Nyoka. And there's venom there. It's not directed at him, but you can just feel the hatred that boils within her. And she looks back at the document and just sort of shoves it away from her view. And says nothing.
if it's true that he did strike an accord with a dragon, I would imagine there would be some documentation. Of course, it could just be boasting, but you all know him better than I do.
That I do. Except the player does not. So, would Visha know if Catfin was, prone to boasting, or if he was somebody who only said what he meant?
He was not a boaster, really. Cadfan was a conversationalist, and would regularly, even in your time in Cadfan's tower, would have people over, and anyone who would wander in, would have them for tea and invite them for just stories and things like that.
Mm-hmm. So he was social, but he wasn't a person to talk nonsense. All right.
Wouldn't really boast, but was a conversationalist, and the things he talked about himself. He was one of the things that was rumored about his staff that is now your sort of scepter. You've made modifications to it, but it did have a skull atop it, and it was an adornment that he picked up. And the rumor was that it was the skull of his former master. Whenever he would sit down and people would ask about this rumor, about this skull on his staff, he would laugh and say, "No, it's just a trinket I found. It's a skull from a ruin he discovered. He preserved it and decided to adorn his staff with it." It was very open and honest about he's not as nefarious as people think he was, but he had his other hobbies.
Visha will say to Kura, Cadfin, he liked to socialize, but he was never a boaster. Never someone who talks shit. Most people believed Cadfan was an isolationist at best, minded his business, and did not get up to anything wayward. But those people didn't know what he did in his basement, so.
I mean, I think we were looking through his tomes for dragons when we searched. We didn't check his journals for dragons. So knowing this, we can try to go through that. Otherwise, this doesn't help us, and it's just annoying.
If there is truth to this, then there's at least something worth looking into more. Perhaps something overlooked, something more personal to him than something just sitting around in his library.
As you're all having this conversation, this is the point, I believe, where Cersei, you would discover that there is no topic, there is no category for Goetia technology.
Discovering that, Cersei will kind of think to herself, that makes sense if the former magical director had her dabblings in Goetia. It's probably not something they like to advertise, and they don't want curious students following down the wrong rabbit hole, so no, it makes sense. So she'll rejoin the group. And yeah, I think she's just at this point kind of waiting to be seen by the The new director, or the director that is in charge now, at least.
Understood. And the rest of you that were looking into demonology and Goetia would discover what Cersei has already discovered. There's no section on this. No, anyone may feel free to approach Brailwick about it if you so choose.
I did approach him about it when I started this shift, which probably would have been right after the name of Cad Bane had left a bad taste in my mouth, and it's time to change topics.
Understood. And he's looking over some notice, and as you approach, he says, we have your dormitories ready, as well. The director would be able to see you today in about 20 minutes, if that suits you.
Yes,
I would
of
turn to
course.
the gang.
That would suit us well. Thank you.
Excellent. What is there anything else I can help you with? You can't. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off or halt your train of thought, but you needed something.
Yes, I wanted to kind of roleplayed this earlier where I went up to him and I asked, we believe that we may have run into a demon on our way out here. We're hoping you might have some information on how to deal with such a being.
Such a thing would be best left to the priests. We don't have any tomes on Goetia here, or the academy is an upstanding place of magical learning. As such, the dark arts aren't researched here.
Fair enough. Do you have anything on witchers?
On witchers, there's a couple, a few things that I could entertain you with. Yes, and he begins to take you to a section, kind of briefly go into the history of known witchers that are from Nilfgaard, that were taken from Nilfgaard, or have their origin or in their name so and so of Gomera, that are known. It brings you to stories, and again, historical monster hunts and events that have happened in certain duchies and certain towns and villages.
I will start to peruse and try to start digging through. Is this all that you have on the subject? Or is there maybe another section that I can look at? And are books permitted to be taken to our dormitory?
For visitors, there's a bit of a different system. We would need to essentially place something on the book itself to where we would be able to recover it if you were to, say, leave the grounds. And we would like to be able to keep track of our property, as you see. So long as it is not an issue to you, that would be a problem.
Excellent, thank you.
And then, for you, Kura, go ahead and give me a roll of education or deduction.
29. I exploded.
29. There's a story. There's a history here of mages that assisted in the first coup that took place in the Witchers. When Arnagad the Bear departed from the first Witcher school, he took their potions, their concoctions, the means to make more Witchers, as well as certain mages that were in the first Witcher order allied themselves with him. In the same regard, there is the story of the vipers that split off from the bears. The Amel Mountains, where the bears reside, or resided, is in Nilfgaardian territory. The Vipers, where their school was, is Nilfgaardian territory. And with the borders pushing ever northward, many of the Witcher schools, their grand halls, find themselves in Nilfgaardian territory. And through this, you find history. You find mages that were known to have been purveyors and scholars in mutagenics. You find theories about how to craft mutants. They're vague. They're very vague. As Brelwick said, this is an upstanding magical academy. The dark arts are not studied here. And to mutate, to create a mutant, is considered a dark art. There's the hints, the beginnings of what to do here. Vague things. And as you go through these last 20 minutes, Cersei and Visha, apologies, I would say more so Cersei, because you are an Aratuzan trained mage. You know that a library at a magical academy is not the font, the whole of their knowledge. There is a restricted section somewhere. There are hidden books. There are things that are left too dangerous to be left to students, or even faculty. You would know that if this is what Kura has found, it's the tip of the iceberg.
Cersei is kind of looking over, kind of glancing over Kerr's shoulder and reading, and just catches the words that stick out. Mutagen, mutate, and how vague it is. And, to Bisha telepathically. She will say, let me spend the stamina real quick. She will say, there's very likely a restricted section somewhere. Perhaps we can bargain to get access to it.
There is a moment of silence as she's like processing what you're saying, and a hidden smile before she responds and says, "Oh, what do you think they want? Something we can bargain with to get us access?"
Thanks for a moment. The only thing that comes to mind is the grimoire. Not to give it to them, to show it to them.
Okay. Something we can bring to the director. There's benefit in that.
We can also always, if the Witchers are amenable, offer services on any hunts that may need to be undertaken. Easy one.
Let's start with that. If there's one thing mages love, it is knowledge. We present them the grimoire. It's very likely they will want to do more than just take a look.
Right, you are. And Cersei will cease the telepathic communication and simply continue waiting.
Visha She starts to wander the library in these last 20 minutes and just getting like a layout of this place, and sort of recalling the path that we took to get here, if there were any extra doors or even things that were gated off. And she's just kind of making a mental map of the school. And like the further on that we go, she'll be adding to that map.
Understood. There is an interruption, as Brelwick says. I can take you to the director's quarters, and we can wait there if you'd like.
Fabulous.
It's only about a 5-minute walk from here, and she likes to stay close to the... Most directors have, in history, have decided to stay in the director's quarters and stay close to the library, you see.
Of course. We'd be happy to wait there if it's more agreeable.
There is a smile given by Braylick. Gestures for all of you to join him. You walk through. You move through this space and you move down the halls and you see students that greet you with smile formations. You see staff. Again, the uniform is present, but again, there's the little bits of flair that have been added. Every once in a while, you see people running through the halls. These are teenagers, young adults that are granted a bit of freedom. It's less stuffy than Aratuza, Cersei. And it's certainly more joyful than Cadfan's Tower, Visha. And for our Witchers, I don't even need to say that it's has a different air than your training. You make your way to an office. Brellick gives a knock. A woman's voice speaks and says, "You may enter. Bring them in." And the doors open. Sitting at a desk is it's an older woman. See a streak of gray, a little bit of strands of gray in her hair. She is shorter, maybe 5'2", 5'3". She looks tired. She wears a garment that covers nearly all of her skin, from the wrist up to the top of her neck. This sort of dress, she stands, is just clad black. There's a bit of a ruffle near the top of the neckline. You can see the black is a little bit lighter. There's a sort of ruffled, decorative bit of fluff underneath the tightness of this dress. She says, "Please, welcome to Gweison Haul. You may sit if you wish. I can have tea brought in."
It would be lovely. And Cersei will take a seat.
"I trust that my name has been given. Braylick, you may leave." And Braylick, "Thank you, ma'am. Good luck." He smiles and closes doors behind him. "I trust that Braylick has given you my name and who I am, but in case he hasn't, I am Alba Lefray. I'm the Director of Magic here at Gweison Haul. I understand you are visitors with information. You caused quite a bit of a stir from the mage hunters when you first arrived. I understand there's business of a dragon. Now, as I have precious little time to squeeze you into my schedule, I'd like to get right to it. What are you here for?
Of course. Well, we have been entreating with nobles across Nilfgaard, across our journey here, to warn them against a threat of a black dragon that is closer to the western Nilfgaard. And we wanted to bring that information here as well. Looking into your prestigious library to see if there's any information on black dragons that could be gleaned in dealing with this problem.
Yes, and I understand that they found you in the library. Berwick was allowing you a guided tour.
Yes, he was quite thorough. Very
And have you found what you
fascinating.
needed?
We found some information, yes.
I
Excellent.
believe that the one we are dealing with is Raylith the Tyrant. The hunt locations from the past match the same exact area that he still calls his home.
Excellent. You've come to warn us of this. Your warning has been received. Why meet with me then?
I think perhaps it is better to deal with one who is in charge than just the students and cause panic. Coming to you directly is a way to give this warning without causing a panic.
She nods. Well, I've received your message.
Has anyone seen the dragon? I know we are very south of where we originally had sightings of it.
Southeast, to be precise, yes.
Yes.
No one has seen a dragon here. No one has made any claims. Vigavaro has been busy with other matters.
There is a war. So it is interesting. You'll forgive me. I do know that the other academy in Nilfgaard, the Imperial, I believe, the Imperial Academy, they deal more in conscriptions, but you seem to not do that here. How have you managed?
We are a magical academy for the common folk. For those that wish to learn. For those that wish to harness their abilities to protect themselves and to serve their empire at their leisure. Conscriptions aren't necessary here. Everyone here knows that they're blessed to be here.
Right. That's fascinating. She is going to use her telepathy very quickly with Cersei and say, so shall I ask her about the demon or should you?
Cersei will not reply and instead will kind of give a very small nod and swallow back some anxiety that she may be feeling before. Saying there is another matter that we could use help with.
What matter might that be?
Well, you see, we have been dealing with strange phenomena since leaving our home. What started with our home and seems to have followed us. There may be petty superstitions, but I want to be thorough and sure. I am concerned we may be stalked by a demon.
The demon.
Yes, and while I understand not your public library not having information on Goetia, I am
looking for safeguards against such things. Again, being thorough, even if it is just superstition.
You'd have better luck speaking with the Church of the Great Sun.
There is no such information or spells for consecration here.
Consecration is a priest's right.
I see. Is she telling the truth? Is she telling the whole truth?
Right off of the bat, you know that that's not entirely true. There are protections she could... There are spells that would help against a demon. This is dismissive. This is... Maybe not dismissive. This is kind of just hand-wavy.
Certainly. Telepathically to Visha, and I'll spend the stamina. Cersei will say, doesn't seem to take much of what we're saying seriously.
No, she
Kinda
doesn't.
like takes a pause and adjusts herself in the seat to look more natural.
Any ideas on how to get her to take us seriously?
If I'll be frank, while I do say it could be superstition, I wouldn't come to you with such a claim if I didn't have evidence or reason to believe that it was true. If it is an equivalent trade you are looking for, I'm willing to give it.
What I tell you is true. I don't need an equivalent trade. What I do need, though, before we continue, is for you to understand that I'm someone who values forthrightness. Now, Miss Aveline, tell me why a group of foreigners comes to Nilfgaard looking for information about a demon and a dragon. You give yourself away, and she looks to you, Risha, when you say that you don't know how things are done here in Nilfgaard. This tells us you're not from here. So where are you from? Why journey all this way? From the north?
I originally hail from the north, yes, but I've taken up residence in Toussaint.
Oh, I know all about you, Miss Aveline. Your story is told as cautionary tale here.
I wonder why that may be.
Well, one does destroy their family home with spirits and ghosts and necromancy in their first year of magic without it becoming a part of our lesson plan.
Well, I am from everywhere. I did not have the benefit of a school like this one. But I did learn from someone. I had a mentor, and he hailed from Ebbing.
Go on.
Before she speaks, there is a hardness on her features. I think the others would recognize this as Visha is angry. And it's right at the surface. You can sort of see that there is a blazing fire in her mismatched eyes. Cadfan of Ebbing taught me everything I know. But clearly not everything. And so we came to a place that was renowned for its knowledge and for its willingness to accept everyone. for those who seek knowledge and want to expand their ability and their control.
So a mutationist and necromancer and what, a demonologist come to my doorstep?
No demonologists here. In fact, when we ran up against the demon, we did not recognize what it was at first. It gave itself away. And then from there, we sought knowledge merely to protect ourselves.
I would also hardly call myself a necromancer. The chaos bursting from a child is not quite the same as someone trained in an art as dark as that one.
This is where we differ ourselves from our twos and mages, Miss Aveline. We understand here at Gweison Haul that when chaos bursts forth, when someone displays magical potential, what happens is a glimpse of their speciality. A glimpse of to what their nature truly is. Those that are birthed in fire have an affinity for the flame. Those that find themselves with a sudden ability to breathe underwater have an affinity for the hydromancy. Those that bring spirits back from the underworld, well, those are necromancers at their core. It's not necessarily your fault. Make no mistake, I don't accuse you of anything. But it is what you began as, what chaos chose you for.
I think you'll find him full of surprises. But on to the matter at hand. Yes, we simply came seeking knowledge, and with a warning. If an academy as prestigious as this cannot provide the former, but takes the latter, well, I suppose there's no need to waste each other's time anymore.
What exactly do you require from this academy? Just knowledge, just information.
Yes. Unless you're willing to offer more. As we said, there is a dragon afoot.
Yes. What I require as payment is Gweison Hall's property returned to it. Your master has a number of our tomes we've been requesting returned to us for a number of years.
Which tomes in question?
Shall I provide you a list?
Yes.
She reaches into her drawer in her desk. You can hear papers rustling, and she pulls out this scroll that has been rolled up. The twine has seen better days. It's likely going to snap. She holds it out to you. This has been a list made for some time. The parchment is aged. The return of these tomes will pass you whatever knowledge we need. Now, am I to take it here that your appearance here at the Academy, the Cadfan of Ebbing, is dead? Otherwise, he'd come himself. He was always bold.
Before I answer, I'm gonna take a look at this list. How long is this list of books that my fucking master took?
There are 36 tomes.
Jesus.
Now, it is noted, Bisha, that there are some of these that you recognize. It is of note that some of these are things that he wrote himself. Things that he wrote in and are part of his library. Likely what has happened here is he wrote them while he was here in Gweison Hall. They claimed the first edition, and he said no. He kept them.
Well, it seems to me you have it's quite a list. Most of these written by him. So not yours, his.
Donated at the time of his visits. Until he was slighted
Clear.
during these visits. Or at least he felt he was slighted.
Slighted? Slighted how?
We do not allow the study of mutation at this academy. The theories...
So then you...
The theories that your master, the research he was conducting, we frowned upon very greatly. What he had donated here, when he learned that it was going to be kept from the students, kept from faculty, well, he took great offense to it.
So... So you want books back that no other mage will be able to look at, will be able to learn from.
Much better than having them out in the world.
Well, they're in good hands.
Are they?
There are some of these, however, who are not written in his hand that I can see about negotiating back into yours.
I'll see to it quickly. I don't have much time to meet with you.
Ooh, I'm sorry. Visha's like, I'll kill this bitch today. You're not getting my books. Visha will... Her fist closes really tight for a moment. It's just kind of on at her side as she tries to rein in her anger, and she will slowly close the parchment. You will give us access to the books that you do have on Gweisha. If I can bring some of these tomes to you.
Limited supervised access.
Good. Then it's settled then.
Are we able to recruit volunteers for this dragon?
I doubt any of my faculty will take up on your offer. But if you find someone so foolhardy as to leave the safety of the academy and leave their duties to Nilfgaard to face a dragon, by all means, you may recruit as you wish. There is a matter, though. She pulls out another, smaller scroll and holds it out to you, Cersei.
Take it.
There is a matter of your payment as well.
My payment. What do you require of me? And I'll open the scroll.
There are 4 tomes listed, Cersei. Book titles that you're not entirely sure what the contents of these were. They're just 4 tomes. And she says, your master still lives. Tell her she is no longer welcome at Gweison Hall, and we request that she returns the items that she has taken from here.
Cersei bites the inside of her cheek so she doesn't laugh. But she says, I will pass the message along promptly.
Excellent. You are welcome to stay, so long as you adhere to the academy rules. Relic will fill you in. Your dormitories will be made, given the proper arrangements. You may feel free to stay as you like. But those are my terms for a deeper look into our knowledge base.
Find these terms agreeable, Risha?
Aye. Agreeable they are.
Thank you, ladies. Gentlemen. Nell, if you excuse me, I have other matters I need to attend to. Feel free to drop in a class if you need it.
Visha will get up and just give like a look to Kura, like, gentlemen, and will head out of the fucking door before she suffocates this woman. So she is out in the hallway. But she looks at this list again. Her issues with Cadfin notwithstanding, the fact that what he took slight to was the hiding of knowledge is interesting to her because he did a damn good job at hiding information from her. Always holding it like a carrot on a stick before her. And she can feel it, the magic within her, the chaos trying to peel its way out of her skin. And it sticks with her the way this woman said that the first show of chaos is usually the indication of the type of mage you will be. And she remembers her first bout was to hex a man and destroy his bloodline. What kind of mage does that make her?
Indeed. Looking over your own tome, Cersei, there are two, I should say, that call attention, that aren't necessarily magic-based, more arcane knowledge. You both have to acquire these books in order to gain access to the hidden library in Gweison Haul. For you, Cersei, what catches your attention on this list of 4 books is one is titled The Curse of the Black Sun. The other is The Mania of Mad Etlebald.
What was that second one?
Mania of Mad Eltibald.
Cersei, looking over this list a second time, more thoroughly this time, when she sees the tome, the title, The Curse of the Black Sun, she frowns very deeply. And rolls the paper up once more, tucks it away, and lets out a sigh, waiting for Browick to come back.
As Browick returns and takes you to where your sleeping quarters will be while you remain here at Gweison Haul. This is where we'll end today's session of Witcher Last Light. We will see what you all get into and what else you might uncover here at Gweison Haul next time. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you all so much for playing. We'll catch you all next time, same place, same scholars. We'll see you then.